Hello! In this episode of my podcast, Building Healthy Communities, I'm shining a light on some programs supporting seniors in the district. First up is my discussion with Johnathan Zamora, Director of the Peekskill Senior Nutrition Program. Next, you'll hear from the two seniors behind Old Traditions, New Beginnings, a senior legacy project my office is helping to facilitate. At the end of the episode, we'll share some information about AD 95's local senior centers, which all offer resources to keep our older residents healthy and connected to the community. Keep listening for a great episode. Hello, I'm Dana Levenberg, member of the Assembly for the 95th District of New York State. Welcome to my podcast series, Building Healthy Communities. My mission as a legislator is to build healthy communities in every sense of the word. Environmentally healthy, economically healthy, physically and mentally healthy, all through the lens of equity. In this podcast series, I'll be talking with the leaders, advocates, and others who are helping to build healthy communities here in AD 95 and beyond. Along the way, we'll share information and resources for local residents, news that you can use. I know many senior citizens in my district struggle with food insecurity, access to resources, and also just want to get out and have a good time with their peers and get involved in their community. There are many senior centers and nutrition programs throughout the 95th AD that are here to help meet the needs of our seniors. Today, I have Johnathan Zamora with me, and he's here to discuss the resources available at the Peekskill Nutrition Senior Center, which is just one of these organizations in my district that provides seniors with food, transportation, and really amazing social activities. And Jonathan's been such a leader in this area. He's doing such a phenomenal job. I'm very excited to be talking with you today. You can learn more about the programs in Peekskill at cityofpeekskill.com/263/nutrition-senior-services. If you don't live in Peekskill, don't worry, because at the end of this podcast, we're also going to share more information and resources for seniors who live in other communities. So Johnathan, welcome, and tell me a little bit about all that Peekskill Nutrition Senior Services is up to and what inspired you to get involved with this part of the city.
So thank you. Good morning, Assemblywoman, for having me on the podcast. This is a wonderful media to reach the public, and thank you for all of your support for being advocates for seniors, especially in Peekskill. So really, my story goes back many years. Actually, I was a professionally trained chef. I started with the city of Peekskill almost 10 years ago as the chef for the Senior Nutrition Program, and progressed through the ranks, now becoming site manager now, which oversees the program, both the nutrition and the socialization components, for about 5 years. And we're just starting to grow in leaps and bounds. The whole connection with food is that there's a socialization component to it. When someone asks you to join them for lunch, they're asking you, yes, to share a meal, but really just to spend time together. And so we think that that's very important, especially for the senior population, as adults are living longer, living in their own residences for more periods of time. And so we are creating a community here in Peekskill that's sort of centers around food, but also the socialization component. And I'm very grateful that we have an outstanding staff to help promote these components on a daily basis, but also we have a very engaged population. We're busier in Peekskill now than ever before, even pre-pandemic. We're averaging 5 or 6 new members a week, which we've been doing for the last several months, and the dining room is getting nice and cozy. So it's a great experience for us, and we're just happy to provide the services and supports that seniors may need, but also those that they don't know that they may need as well.
So the 5 to 6 more seniors every single week, does that mean that they heard about your cooking and now nobody can stop them? They got to get there to taste your cooking, or you're not really doing that much cooking anymore and just doing managing?
I'm more managing now. I'm in the supervisory capacity. We have a classically trained chef, a CAA graduate, Greg Gilbert, which is very, very talented, and the rest of our kitchen staff working very hard. It's really a combination of the food because not only do we prepare our meals 95% from scratch, which is very important for the nutritional component, but we also provide a lot of experiences and socialization activities for the members here at our Peekskill Club. So I think it's a combination of both.
I'm sure. So can you talk a little bit about the nutritional component of the nutrition program, as well as, and also I think it is unusual that you prepare all your food from scratch. Having, again, been town supervisor in Ossining, and we had a senior nutrition program as well, we outsourced most of the cooking because we didn't really have a kitchen that was fully able to make meals, nor do we have any chef that was CAA trained chef on staff. So talk a little bit about nutrition, and then maybe you can also talk a little bit about all those activities that bring your seniors coming and staying and bring their friends.
Absolutely, yes. So we actually work in tandem with the Westchester County Office of the Aging, which has staff dietitians on the county level that create the menus that are followed at all the senior centers. I think there's 29 of them throughout Westchester County. And, we are one of those. Peekskill is actually the second longest running nutrition program in Westchester County since 1974. So we are coming up on our 50th year next year, and we're very excited to celebrate that. In terms of
knowing you've already been planning, and you have a lot of 50th activities already in the works, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So in terms of the nutrition, the dietitians at the county level go ahead and configure the menus according to a third of the recommended daily requirements for nutritional needs for seniors. There's also certain components that are sort of understoods. What I mean by that is that we don't add salt to any of the food, but there's no added salt to that. So we work a lot with fresh herbs, seasonings, and spices to make the food more flavorful. And then we use different cooking techniques so that we can use and maximize the flavor of a lot of different dishes. So, having a culinary trained staff, myself, I'm a Johnson & Wales graduate, we have a lot of experience in this realm, and then we listen to our seniors as well. If there's something that they want to see on the menu, or there's something that they have a suggestion, we write it down, we communicate with the county. The county has been an excellent, outstanding partner with us for many, many years. And we get to kind of experiment a little bit and test out some new recipes that eventually get rolled out into the west of Westchester.
That's great. And you don't add salt, but I know also, I'm guessing that if there are seniors that have specific dietary restrictions, that you're also cognizant of that, and you're not serving them anything that might harm them or counteract something that they might be dealing with on any kind of health issues.
Oh, absolutely. That's 100% right. So when someone were to come in to join as a new member, we do a quick paper application with them. The only requirement in Peekskill is to be 60 years of age and older, and to be a resident of Peekskill. We do have some seniors from outside the area coming in as guests, and we're happy to have people from all over the county come and visit us from time to time. In terms of the food restrictions, we do communicate those on our paperwork and our kitchen staff. We meet on a daily basis. We look to see, especially for those that come into the dining room, but especially those seniors who are on our homebound meal delivery program. Those are critical points of fact that need to be communicated. So we do have some seniors that have some food allergies and some sensitivities and some components that may interact with what they're taking, medication-wise. So we are very cognizant of that. We're able to accommodate probably 99% of those who come in to seek out services. And we're very happy to do so.
That's great. And thanks for mentioning that. Unfortunately, we do have homebound seniors. How does the program actually make sure that you get to everybody in Peekskill who needs your services?
Right. So we do have a very robust homebound delivery program. And luckily in Peekskill, all of our delivery personnel are city staff. We don't rely on volunteers or any kind of delivery services like DoorDash or anything like that. There are very specific safety constraints and those kind of things that we do follow. So, making sure the food is packed at a proper temperature for safe travel and handling and consumption, making sure, that the senior who is there to receive the meal is actually there. We make a visual contact with them. It's more of a wellness check than a meal delivery. And then we ask the senior, is there something that we can help you with? What do you need? And then we can communicate that back to the office and connect them to the resources that they may need, which has been super helpful, especially for those seniors who are homebound and maybe have family that live a couple of states away, or maybe they don't have, really integrated support systems around them. They come to rely on a service like ours, and a lot of people don't know that about us. So we take a lot of pride in what we do, and we love all of our seniors incredibly.
And I'm sure that they love seeing those friendly faces from your staff, as opposed to a delivery service coming by. Somebody who knows them, who they feel comfortable with, they can have a conversation with, even if they don't have to communicate their troubles. Just being able to talk for a few minutes a day probably really makes them feel valued and makes them feel like a part of community, right?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's an important part of the community, and we want to make sure that everyone feels that way.
Yeah.
Just because you're not coming in doesn't mean you're forgotten. We certainly take care.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are amazing. And I just wanted to note that I had the pleasure of visiting you during a Thanksgiving meal that you were serving. I think that you were packed. I think you had 2 seatings maybe for Thanksgiving, maybe even more. And everybody looked like they were having a phenomenal feast for that day. So I can vouch for at least the look of that fresh food that you guys provide every day. What about other activities? What are you providing for all of that socialization beyond the sitting down and breaking bread together? Talk a little bit about some of the other activities that are available to the seniors.
Sure. So really, the goal of the Senior Center is to provide a healthful meal for the senior community. However, here in Peekskill, we want to address the holistic health of the senior, so and our members as well. So we do have exercise classes. We have a full calendar of events and activities. I'm just going to name a few. We have several exercise classes like some strength training, some calisthenics, Tai Chi, water aerobics. We offer some games. We have bingo. There's Pekino. There's any number of other socialization components. We go on a lot of trips as well. This week, let me see what's happening this week. We went to a Westchester Knicks game yesterday, and which they won, which was nice. And they sat courtside, so that was a lot of fun. I got some pictures with the players. This Sunday, we're going to a holiday show over in West Point. This weekend. So we get involved. We average about 60 to 70 trips a year, and it's to any various locations. So, sometimes we go to a Yankees game, sometimes we'll go to the walkway across the Hudson. We do anything and everything to get people out and enjoying themselves. And we've started to do a little bit more of cooking classes here in the center. We actually have a plant-based cooking class going on right now that we're working together with an organization from New York City, but also from the Peekskill Community Garden, who's located just a block and a half away, provides us fresh produce and things that we actually use in our meals, so we can kind of keep the food local and to help promote the health of the local community and environment. So we're doing quite a bit, and that aside, there's also other needs of seniors that a lot of people are aware of, but maybe don't know how to get. So one in particular is computer literacy. Technology is massively important now, as throughout the pandemic, using Zoom, and a lot of seniors are a little apprehensive about learning how to do those things properly and maybe not know where to go to get those skills. So what we've done is we're actually partnering with the STEM Alliance and New York Presbyterian Hospital to do our computer literacy programs, where seniors in Peekskill get 15 hours of hands-on instruction on how to use computer basics. So throughout the program, they get to build on their skill sets and practice afterwards. But at the end of the program, they get a laptop free of charge. And we were happy to serve about 50 seniors in 2023. And we just got word last week that we're going to be able to serve 50 more in 2024.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I just learned about that program last week, and I was blown away because, and obviously during the pandemic, that's when seniors really had to kind of step up and figure out, how am I going to see my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren? I can't see anybody. I can't be with people. but Zoom, obviously came into being and got very popular, and FaceTime and all those sorts of things. So if a senior did know how they could utilize those different programs, they really could stay in touch with their family in a way that would make them feel much more connected, which, as we've been discussing, is so important to the health and well-being of our seniors. So that's really fantastic. I love that program. I love that they get a laptop at the end of it, and that they can then, put it to use and like practice, right?
Absolutely. It's so funny because at the end, they're telling me about the emails they're sending, about the flyers they're making. And it's like,
Yeah.
look how far you've come. And it's all about practice, but we're just happy to provide the resources that the community needs.
That is amazing. And then there's probably some people who aren't quite 60 yet, or aren't quite ready to admit that they're seniors, but they might still want to be involved. Are there ways that other people can get involved, volunteering, just showing up? What else can people do?
No, absolutely. So we are starting to be more active in the volunteering realm. We get calls very frequently for people wanting to volunteer their expertise, be it providing an art class or maybe a mentoring component. But we do have those opportunities available, and we're very grateful for anyone who wants to come and kind of share their time and their talents with our members. We have a great group of seniors here. We're like one big family, and it's great to be able to do that. So if anyone is interested, they can reach out to my office here, and we can have a conversation. But we are starting to be more active with that in 2024.
That's wonderful. And I do know that your seniors, they do not just sit on their tushies. They get up and they dance, especially during the holidays. So I know that this podcast is probably going to be airing a little bit after the holidays. But can you talk a little bit about what you have planned around the holidays, just so we can get a sense of all the fun that you guys have?
Sure, absolutely. So actually, tomorrow we're actually having a tree trimming event here in the center. So we have some decorations and some other supplies where people can actually make their own. Come in, decorate the tree, decorate the center, in a way that they feel comfortable. And we do the hot cocoa, and we have music, the holiday music and everything to involve everyone. And it's like a big gathering of friends. So other than that, we have actually the senior club, which you're eligible to join at 55 years old, is actually celebrating having their annual holiday dinner on the 14th of this month. And that's at a local restaurant there. So they get together, they dress up, they have a lot of fun. And then here in our community center on the 21st, we have our Christmas holiday meal, which we're at right now, I think about 95 people and 95 reservations at the moment. And so we are going to be packed to the gills, which is always a great thing. We're also planning with the mayor, who's also very involved, in the support with the city council has been incredible, and a big reason why we can do all of the amazing things that we're doing. We're actually organizing a shuttle to see the holiday lights throughout Peekskill. So
Nice.
We're working on dates specifically, but we do have transportation, as you mentioned earlier. And again, another reason we are able to do as many activities as we can is because we have 2 shuttle buses. They're ADA compliant. We can shuttle about 45 seniors to anywhere in the county or anywhere we need to travel. And so we're going to do that. So one or two evenings coming up soon, we're going to be traveling around and enjoying the holiday spirit. And it's just another way we can continue to enjoy the season.
And I'm not sure you bussed everybody to the senior citizen lunch in the county, but I do think one of your seniors was honored. Can you want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So, Westchester County does an amazing job of honoring its senior citizens, rightfully so. One of our club members here, Marcia Bailey, was honored in 2023 and was at a Hall of Fame luncheon last week, which I did have the pleasure of seeing you as well. And I think they had 600 seniors attend, and it was just very nice to gather in person again and to celebrate the achievements of those that have given so much to the community and shared so much of themselves. Which I think is incredibly important. So again, we've had many seniors be nominated and inducted into the Westchester County Senior Citizens Hall of Fame throughout the years, and there's no sign of stopping. So
no, absolutely.
Come on in.
My last little question, because I think that you also partner sometimes or have the seniors work with some younger people. Is that true, or am I making that up?
No, we have groups that we work with. We in Peekskill we have the Parks and Recreation Department. We have our Youth Bureau, which is very instrumental in offering quality programs as well. We do have intergenerational programming.
That's
So
what I
the
meant.
last
Yeah.
one we did, is we had line dancing. So that was an interesting component. It was more of a physical activity, but you had the youth, you had the seniors. We do what's called a Tech Day, which we're going to be bringing back in 2024. So that's a chance for the youth to come in and actually kind of troubleshoot the seniors' questions with their cell phones or tablets and those kind of things. And we, have a little ice cream or whatever the case may be, something to gather people together. And then in terms of the volunteering, we do offer senior grocery delivery once a month. We partner with Feeding Westchester, and we distribute, I want to say anywhere between 40 and 50,000 pounds a year. So what we do is have a volunteer group come in and help us bag and assemble the packages that will be given to seniors. So we have fresh produce that's seasonal coming in on a regular basis, and also some dry goods as well. So that's what we have going on in Peekskill, and it's been an amazing ride.
That sounds incredible. Certainly for intergenerational, ice cream would definitely be the way to get at everybody. That's number one. And number two, I just wanted to mention about that line dancing. You reminded me that I think Marsha is one of those people who's always out there on the dance floor. I could be wrong, but I think she's one of the ones. So congratulations again, Johnathan, for all of the good work that you're doing. I think that you could probably talk about, all of your programs for a lot longer, but I'm grateful to have the opportunity to showcase a little bit of the program throughout the show and to talk to you. And I can't wait to just get back up there and be with your seniors, because they're really amazing. And I love having the opportunity to talk to them and to talk to you and all of your great staff as well. So thanks so much for coming to talk to me today about building healthy communities. And we'll have some more information for you on screen at the end of the show.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
Okay, you too.
So Cora, what was the genesis for the Old Traditions, New Beginnings? What's the seed, basically, of this project?
Well, it started in 1972 when I started writing some songs, and with some events that happened in my life. And in 2002, I was inspired by a friend of mine who self-published a book of poems. And I said, well, maybe I should be writing some poems for events in my life, my family, my children, grandchildren, any kind of emotions that would come from things that I would see in nature or whatever. So I started to write these poems, and then I had a catastrophic accident that took the life of my husband and left me injured in the hospital. And at that time, my sister walked in the door of the hospital and said, you have to write your feelings down, your thoughts. And I couldn't even think of writing at that time, but I did. And that was really a lot of therapy for me, to write about my emotions, write about what I was feeling, what I was going through. And when it was all said and done, I said I really should kind of self-publish this, because this may be an inspiration for other people, other seniors, to write about their life and their stories, their history, whatever. So that's how that came about.
So Judith, how did the idea for the Old Traditions, New Beginnings project come about, and how can people get involved?
Cora, Silvestri, and I were both at the senior center in Ossining, and one morning we began to chat, and she told me that she had written a book of poetry, and I asked if I could read it, and it just so happened that the director of the center had it, and I sat there riveted as I turned each page, and I finished it, and I said to myself, this is of substantial merit, great importance, because Cora reflected on many events, good and tragic, throughout her life, going back to the 70s, and I immediately called Acacia Mariello, the Director of Communications for Dana Levenberg, the Assemblywoman, and ran the idea by her that I thought that this could be a phenomenal project for senior citizens. Many are disenfranchised, they're isolated, And while reading Cora's work, it dawned on me too that during the lockdown period of COVID, people were really trending back to traditions that they had grown up with, reviewing that, reflecting upon friendships that were now gone because people had died, because you reach a certain age and things begin to deteriorate. And I felt they were extraordinarily disenfranchised, and this would give this elderly population a novel approach, a new approach to aging, and a voice. So old traditions, new beginnings, hopefully that people will submit to their executive directors at their respective senior centers throughout Westchester County, and their work will be edited, reviewed, published, and can serve this population in many, many ways, and perhaps join regionally those who participate and make new friends and carry out a legacy for their generations yet to come. Generational family history passed down.